Spencer, a point here on the road at Dagenham. You must be really pleased with that, and then clean sheet as well.
Yeah, because I think on balance, if any team deserved to win, it was us. Both keepers made one great save. We've hit the post. We've missed, quite frankly, a sitter. The header at the back post, he's got to score. And I thought it was a tight game, but just on balance, I'm so proud of us. You know, we're up against a full-time side here, and we more than matched them. I think the game ebbed and flowed a bit. There wasn't a lot in it. We tried to pass the ball. It's a fantastic surface here. We didn't just sit there and go, come on, you know, we're up against a full-time side, and you know, and the stats don't lie. As I said, you know, one that hits the post, and the great chance, great strike from Teddy, and right behind it's a great save from the keeper. And I said, besides Jack's save from Joe, which was a great chance clearly, there was nothing in the game. As I said, to come away to a club of this stature, with everything they've got here, and to just come away with a tinge of disappointment we haven't won the game. And as I said, I thought it was still pretty even, but those stats don't lie about the great chances. I said, when it hit the post, from behind it, we thought it was in. I couldn't believe it. Because Steve had set it up, all credit to him on the training ground, and you know, disappointed for him as well as anybody else, but a hell of a shift. As a group, 15 players working really hard on the pitch. Apologies to young Connor, nearly brought him on at half time. It was a big toss up between him and Rennie, and his chance to come, but 15 players that played, plus Connor put in a fantastic shift today, and it was the least we deserved.
You mentioned the half-time change there. Was that tactical with Jack Young on a yellow card?
Yeah, look, you know how much we love Joe Hagan. Shouldn't really be saying that to anyone from Dagenham because he's not our player anymore, but I think he's a fabulous player, and he's so quick with his feet, and being blunt, the staff and I completely agreed. If we go down to 10 men, we're not getting anything here. So, or the likelihood is we're not. So you're up against somebody who's great at nicking fouls, etc. So I just, on balance, decided to do it. And look, I thought Jack was okay, you know, as far as it was purely tactical. Could not afford to go down to 10 men against a full-time side like Dagenham. So when you see the subs they're bringing on, we're bringing on lads that have come out of step 3, and again, what a great shift, what a learning experience. And the fans were fantastic, and as I said, I'm coming away in a very tight game on the balance of chances, a little bit disappointed that we didn't quite take all 3 points.
We look a lot harder to break down defensively with 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games. How pleased are you with that?
Yeah, I am, because you look at how many actual chances they had. It was limited, and I said we didn't have many more. It was a tight game, but we're working really hard. You know, these games have been so many this season. You know, this referee, he had us at Hornchurch, and it was 1-1 with 5 minutes to go, and we managed to lose it. So many games have been really tight. So, you know, I was at the end there, I was sort of torn because we had the ball quite a bit in the last sort of stoppage time, and you know, lads are going forward and you're going, hang on a minute, you're taking away point all day long. You know, you've just beaten, you know, Maidenhead, you know, you know, in a tight game, you're away at Dagenham with all their resources, and you know, you take the point, but we're so young, and you know, we're so hungry, and you were just desperate not to get done, because you know, look at the threat they've got, look at the size of them, you know, long throw as well. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm delighted for the group. I'm delighted for the group. It's, you know, 2 clean sheets, and to limit in those 2 games, 2 sides of that stature to so few chances is encouraging. But you know, we've got to create a little bit more. I didn't think we created much in the first half, but second half the chances don't lie. So look, very, very pleased. 4 points in that 8 days is great, and you know, we now go on to even just as big a challenge in the next 8 days. But it's exciting. I'm pleased, as I said, for the fans. Very great for them coming, and they made great noise again. And you know, we're coming to a new club, or a club we haven't been to for a very, very long time. And you know, it's very expensive to get in. Let's not forget that, and we accept that, and we understand that. And we're very, very grateful. And you know, we're showing real fight, and whatever happens, you can see that. And they're a great group, this bunch. And you know, we'll move on to the next really tough one.
And you mixed it up with the strikers today. How pleased are you with the attacking options that you've got at the moment? Yeah,
look, Amir is, you know, an unknown. He's coming from step 3. We know what a challenge it is. Tommy's come out of not playing much at Salisbury and was at step 3 last year. That's where we are. But their attitudes are phenomenal. They're going to run for us. We've got Teddy turned 18 last week. You know, midfield. You know, we're super young. Wing back, left back. You know, again, super young. So it was good to be able to rest Mason. I've arguably played him to death. You know, we needed to give him a bit of a rest, but he came on and put a shift. Dom, you know, I said Dom and Rax, it was tight. We didn't get a lot out of them first half, and I asked for more at half time from them both. But this is a tough, tight game. We didn't give them great surface, but you know, we demand so much, and it's good that we've got options there. And look, we'd love more experience in midfield, but quite frankly, you know, Billy Clifford, fingers crossed, is not far away. You know, there's your experience. Aaron Cole, sadly, we all know the story. So, you know, we are where we are. As I said, I thought Birdie did quite well as well, coming back into it today. So credit where credit's due. As I said, the whole group today against a massive side deserve a huge amount of credit. And I said, I'll say it again for the manyth time in this interview. I'm going away slightly disappointed that we haven't quite won the game, but an away point at this level, very, very welcome.
How does a point today on the road set us up for a double-header, an exciting double-header at home next week?
Yeah, exciting, yeah, challenging, yeah, 2 more full-time sides. Look, they're 2, I use the friend lightly because I'm tough on that phrase, but you know, 2 fantastic managers in Watts and Mark that are just fabulous guys. I know that Watts is under pressure, and the Torquay is just the most, you know, wonderful club, as is Dorking. You know, got so much time. Look, to get 4 points from the first 2, let's just try and enjoy it. This is tough. If you'd said to me we'd be on 4 points after those first 2, to say I would have bitten your hand off would have been an understatement. This is a very challenging season, and we've got a very long way to go. But if anyone was even any doubt whatsoever that the group of players, never mind me, are up for it, you've seen in this last week we are really up for it, and always will be. You know, we'll give absolutely everything, and that's all you can ask sometimes. And we've got some quality, there's no doubt about it. So, yeah, hope everybody gets there on a Wednesday night. I know Torquay will travel well, and they're fantastic fans, and then obviously Mark, which I'm sure we'll have some fun with on Saturday. So yeah, a really exciting week ahead for the club.
Brilliant. Thanks, Spencer, and best of luck for next week.
Thanks, Dom.